pay no attention to the shit behind the curtain. What am I trying to say? Hi guys! So July is finally over and it is August now. I cannot believe that that is happening right now. If I did not just graduate from school, then I would be getting ready to go back to school pretty soon. But I'm not. I'm getting my sister ready to move into school, which is pretty terrifying. But the fact that it is no longer July and it is August now and summer is ending, that makes me feel terrified. So I wish that this wasn't here, but that means a whole new set of to-be-read books for my list and for you guys to see if you're interested in what I am planning on reading. My TBR for this month is a little bit different. This is more like a tentative TBR because it's more of just, oh, I have a bunch of books that I kind of want to read this month and I'm just gonna play it by ear and see how I'm feeling kind of thing. So I just have a pile of books kind of everywhere around me and behind me right now. And I'm just gonna kind of go through the books that I really want to read this month. So, yes. Someone just rang my doorbell. Somebody got a package. It's not a package for me. The first book that I will be reading in August, wow, still scared to say that, is Off the Page by Jodi Picoult. It's because I have already started it and I am about 130 or so pages into it, and it's cute just like the last one. I'm not really enjoying it as much because parts of it are really annoying me, but this will be the first book I'm finishing because I have already started it and I'm really enjoying it. This is the kind of sequel companion to Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and her daughter Samantha Van Leer, and so this is just a continuation of that. You don't have to read them together, but I definitely recommend you read the first one before you read this one or else you're going to be a little bit confused. Next, basically my number one priority after catching up on all these books that I didn't finish last month is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. I wanted to start this immediately after I finished Clockwork Prince, but I was going out of town so I wasn't able to, and I didn't want to start it and get like 50 pages in and then have to wait 4 or 5 days to come home and then read it, so I decided to wait, and I cannot wait to read this book. Originally I was going to read these in publication order, but then I said, screw it, I gotta read this one now. So, and stupid sticker right in the middle of the stupid... I'm really excited, and then I'll have finished The Infernal Devices, and guys, I just really cannot wait to read this book. I want to read it so bad you don't even understand. So I'm super stoked to finish Off the Page so I can start this one next. On another line, I did have Sweet Evil on my TBR for July, but I wasn't able to get to it, and I was going to carry it over because I do really want to read it, but I just decided I'm going to put it on hold for now because there are just so many new adult books that I want to read this month, and I'm not going to have time for this one, so I'm going to just not with that one. Next book I have here is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. I have heard so many amazing things about this book. Also, the summary sounds really intriguing. This is a new adult book, and it has to do with a girl who I believe is a freshman in college, or she is in college. I think she starts college, and she meets this guy who does underground fighting or something like that. It says he spends his nights winning money in a floating fight ring. I don't really know much about that, but I do love fighting movies, so I feel like this will be really intriguing for me. And they make this deal so that if he wins the fight, then Abby, the main girl, has to move in with him for a month, and if he loses the fight, then he has to remain abstinent for a month. So it seems really interesting, and I've just heard so many really amazing things about this. Everyone says it's a must-read for new adults, so I would really like to read this month. I also have Walking Disaster, which is this book told from the guy's perspective, so if I really enjoy this and decide that I want to read this one, then I have this available, but if I don't really feel like reading this one, then it's not really a big deal. Next, I would like to read Easy by Tamara Weber. This is another one of those new adult books that everyone says is a must-read. It's a really great one if you've never read new adult before. I believe it's about a girl who is in college, and it's just as the other one, and she is walking home one night and gets sexually assaulted, and so that's kind of the premise for this book. I'm not really sure how the guy comes in, but I've heard this one is just amazing, and I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing about this book, so I'm really excited to pick this one up for next month. Please don't fall over. Ugh, stupid. Next book that I have here is Sweet Thing by Renee Carlino.
Why is my battery dying? Why? Ugh.
This is about an older character for a new adult. She's 25, and she goes on an airplane and meets this guy, and they bond over music, and they both end up becoming very good friends when they get to New York, which is where they're going, and I assume there's some kind of romantic connection that evolves there that comes from friendship. As you can see, there's some kissing on the front cover, so I just am assuming that it has some romantic aspect to it. I hope it does, because I do enjoy romance novels, but I am so excited to read this one. I think this is probably one of the ones that I'm most excited about for next month, because as I have said before, I do prefer the new adult books that are about kind of the older characters, just because I'm 22. I'm going to be 23 in like 6 months or so, so I prefer the ones that are about the older characters, but I do enjoy the stories about the characters still in college. But I'm really excited to read this one this month. Next I have here City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This I technically should be reading before I read Clockwork Princess, because I did want to read them in publication order, but I am just going to read this if I have a chance this month. I do really want to keep going with the Mortal Instruments series. I am really interested to see what happens with Jace and everybody, so I would like to read this month. It is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I only have 2 left, including this one, so I would really like to read this month because it is my goal to finish the Mortal Instruments series before the summer ends. Next I have here Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I read my first Colleen Hoover book last month and I loved it. Obviously you guys know that. I've been talking about it basically in the past few videos that I've posted. So I really wanted to pick up another Colleen Hoover book. I've heard that this one is a little bit less depressing than Ugly Love and Hopeless, which I have coming in the mail. But I do really want to read this one this month, also because it has a lot to do with music, I believe. And I love music, and so I was just really drawn to this one. So when I was deciding which Colleen Hoover book I wanted to read next, I just decided this would be a good one. And if you don't know anything about this book, it is just about a girl who is 22 and her boyfriend is cheating on her with her best friend. So she's kind of going through that, but she also forms this connection with her neighbor who she sees playing his guitar in his balcony one night, and so this just really seems like something I will love. So I decided that I would pick this one for my next Colleen Hoover book. This is another one that I have, if I've heard anything bad about this book, it's like really minuscule. I can't recall a time that I've heard anything bad about this book, but I'm sure that I have heard probably 1 or 2 negative things. But I'm really excited about this one. This is just womp. This was all perfectly like set up and nothing was falling over. Let's just get you back in there and see if you can hold this up. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like they're just gonna fall. Please don't fall. Please just okay. Damn paperbacks. Except I do love reading new adult paperbacks. There's just a thing about new adult where I just definitely prefer them in paperbacks. I don't think I've ever read a new adult hardback. Next I have here If You Stay by Courtney Cole. I have not really heard much about this book at all, but I saw it on Goodreads and my library had it, so I decided I would pick it up. I think I've maybe heard 1 or 2 people mention this book, and I've heard generally good things about this book, just I haven't heard about it from a lot of people. But I just figured I would try this book out this month. I've actually not read the back of this book, I don't think. The only thing I know is the one time that I read the blurb on Goodreads, so I don't really know anything about this book. But I did also pick up the second one, so I have both of these here in case I want to go right to the next one after I read this one, so we'll see about that one. I also have on this list Wait For You by Jay Lynn. This is another one of those books that I've heard a lot about when people recommend new adult. I'm so sorry, this tentative TBR for this month is really pretty much all new adult because I've just been really obsessed with it and I'm really excited to try out some more new adult books. But this is one of those that pretty much everybody recommends. I have only read one other book by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and that's Half-Blood, which I actually surprisingly really enjoyed despite all of the bad reviews of it. But I know that people really enjoy Jennifer L. Armentrout's romance, and people have been calling her the queen of new adult, even though I believe her new adult is relatively new within the past couple of years. So I just really want to try that one. I'm not actually sure what that book is about because I don't have an actual copy of it here with me to read the back real quick, but I have read the Goodreads blurb and it looked pretty interesting from what I read the one time, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was about. I do know that it's a new adult romance, obviously, because pretty much most new adult at this point is just chick lit contemporary romance. This next book on my list I am so excited about, and that is The Hookup by Kristen Callahan. I don't have a physical copy of the book here with me, but I saw somebody talk about this book. I don't remember who it was, but I did see somebody talk about this book and I was just immediately intrigued and super stoked to read it. I cannot wait to read it this month. It's one of those that I'm most excited about reading, and It has to do with a girl, for once, who just wants the hookup, and she meets this football player and he's super intrigued by her, and he's the one that wants the relationship and she's the one that really just wants the hookup. So I saw that and I thought that that was a pretty interesting change of pace, so I am really, really interested to read that book this month. Also new adult, by the way. Pretty much just assume that every book I mention is new adult except for the Mortal Instruments and Infernal Devices series, because every single book on here is new adult besides those two. Next I have here Breathe by Abby Glines. This is the first book in her Seabreeze series, and I believe it's kind of similar to the first book in the Rosemary Beach series in that the main girl meets this rock star guy, and that's really pretty much all that I know at this point. The reason I would like to read this book is because I kind of started getting a little bit frustrated with the writing in the Rosemary Beach series. I still really enjoy the series, but I wanted to see if her Seabreeze series was pretty much exactly the same. I wanted to see if the writing was any different, or if the characters talked any different, or the romantic scenes are any different. I just wanted to compare the two so I could get a better idea of Abby Glines as a writer compared to just the one series that I've read. So I'm interested to read that series because I would like to get more of an idea of Abby Glines as a writer. Only 2 books left on the list. I have All Lined Up by Cora Carmack. That is the first book in her Rusk University series. I would like to start the series because I loved her Losing It series, and kind of just like Breathe from the Seabreeze series by Abby Glines, I would like to try more of Cora Carmack's writing because I have only read the one series by her, and I want to see if I enjoy her writing as an author or if I just enjoyed that series. So I'm really, really intrigued by this story. Again, it's one of those that I only read the blurb once, and I'm really just picking it up because it's Cora Carmack, but I believe it has to do with some kind of university, possibly football players, because I feel like All Lined Up, that would make sense. I don't know, we'll see. One more, yay. Last book that I have on this list is Tall, Tatted, and Tempting. Can you see that? And that is by Tammy Faulkner. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I heard about this book, I believe, from Casey Ann Books in her new adult recommendations video. She's got 3 of them, but I heard about it from, I think, the first or the second one. This Kindle book was actually free, which was really exciting. So I decided to pick this up. The idea of the story just really intrigued me. It is about this guy who has not spoken in many years. And then this girl that he meets, and they kind of start this romance. I'm not sure what her deal is. It's not very clear in the description about the book, but what just really intrigued me was the guy who hasn't spoken in 5 or 6 or 4 or 3, I don't know how many years he hasn't spoken. That whole idea just really intrigued me, especially as like a romance story, so I just thought that would be super interesting. So I'm really excited to read this book. This is another one of the ones that I'm like really dying to try out this month. I've heard from a couple people that it's really amazing, but specifically from Casey Ann Books, she really raved about this one. And it's a free Kindle book, so I was like, why the hell not, you know what I mean? So that is it for my massive, very tentative August TBR, more of just what I'm interested in reading this month. I'm kind of going to play it by ear, as I said. Just going to read what I'm feeling. If there are some other new adult or even young adult books that I really feel like reading this month, then I will pick them up. I also kind of really want to continue on with the Covenant series by Jennifer L. Armentrout because I did really enjoy Half-Blood, like I said. We'll see. It's kind of one of those months where I'm just going to play it by ear, but these are the books that I was really interested in reading this month, so we'll see where that goes. So I hope you guys had a really amazing July, and I will see you all very soon with another video. Bye everyone!
My battery's gonna die, but I want to hold these up. Let's see if I can before the battery dies. Let's just like stack them in no particular order, shall we? Oh my god, this is gonna be impossible. I just want to take a thumbnail.
Okay, that's enough. Yay, I made it through until the battery died. Woohoo!